Hello guys, しゅみすけです。And
Hi, I'm Alex.
Okay. Then 今日は何を話すんだっけ？めっちゃ久しぶりやね。It's been a while actually.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
But how are things with you?
Everything's fine, and you?
Yeah, it keeps on going.
Pretty good. Okay, nice. Then wait, so what are we going to talk about today actually?
So today we're going to go into some big grammar mistakes that a lot of Japanese people will make when they're learning and trying to speak English.
Good. 今日僕らが話すのは日本人のあるあるの文法の間違い。これだけのために今日はちょっとね来てもらいました。ね、文法はねやっぱり僕ら日本人はこれ常にやっぱ気になっちゃうところで間違えると思います。で僕もね今もうめちゃくちゃ小さな間違いっていうのはしまくってますね。I'm still making tons of mistakes myself.
Yeah, you make some.
I think so. I don't want you to point it out, but I'm still making a lot.
I'm always watching.
You're not keeping note.
I'm going to take a little bit.
Oh, you do? When we have some troubles.
Yeah, that's just how I am. I'm a teacher.
Okay. ってことでね、アレックスがノートを取って僕のミスをねメモってるかどうかっていうのはちょっと分かんないんですけども、でもやっぱしこうやってね英語と日本語全然違うので、小さなね間違いはします。でアレックスはね今日ねここで選んだのは、彼はここでねうちですごく一番多分長いこと教えている講師で、かつマネージャーもねしてくれているので、めちゃくちゃ日本人のよくやってしまうミスっていうのを気づいていると思うんですよね。I think you've started, you've I think worked with us for almost 13 years?
Yeah,
since
14?
Since the I think earthquake, that happened in Fukushima, right?
That's right. Yeah, it was 1 year right after.
1 year right
earthquake.
After. Okay, that's going to be 2012, I guess.
That's right, 2012.
Wow, that makes up I think 14 years.
I've been teaching English ever since then.
How many people do you remember?
Oh gosh,
you can count them.
Just countless.
Countless.
Yeah, but it's been an adventure and it's really cool. I enjoy teaching.
Good. Okay. ってことでね、14年間もこうね僕たち日本人を見てきてると、これあるあるやなっていうのがね山ほどあるっていうことみたいなんですよ。で今日はこのことをねちょっとアレックスも言ってみたいということで、僕のチャンネルにちょっとね、来てもらいました。Before getting started, is there any one maybe typical mistake that you found it maybe quite interesting or maybe funny?One
of my favorites is probably when Japanese will use these like Japanese English verbs.
Japanese English verbs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me example?
Sure. Like a big one is challenge.
Challenge.
Like how do you use challenge? Like I want to challenge the test. But yeah, we can't use it like that. It has a different meaning. It means to like ask somebody to fight.
That's true. Yeah.
And also ones like level up.
Level up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's maybe common term for Japanese katakana English. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
You think that came from
Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy or something? Yeah.
But a lot of those seem really logical to me, and I find myself actually using some of them in my own English since I've been in
your
Japan
own English.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have you found someone using it back in the States?
I have not. I haven't seen it.
Maybe you'll see in the future.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. 僕らのちょっとやっぱねゲームだったりとかそういうところでよく使ってるカタカナ英語がやっぱり結構ね僕らの英語自体に影響を与えちゃってて、でそれが間違いになっちゃうこともあれば、結構ゲーマーの間では使えちゃったりとかねするようになってることもあるみたいです。ということで今日はとりあえず3つの3 typical English mistakes Japanese people makeってことだよね。3つのね日本人の、よくあるあるの間違いについてこれからちょっとねアレックスと紹介していきたいというふうに思います。ってことで皆さん準備はよろしいですか？ Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, then let's get into it.
Let's do it.
実はねこれね僕らのカンニングペーパーなんですけども、アレックスと僕とで実はね22、23個実はまとめてたんですね。Yeah, we just came up with 22, 23 mistakes, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
We found them quite interesting, but とてもね面白かったんですけども、やっぱこれ全部やっちゃうとすごく長くなっちゃうので、今日は3つってことで紹介したいと思います。Then we're gonna choose just 3 out of those 22, you know, right? Okay. Then the first one comes with which one?So
the first one?
First one.
All right. Our first one is a big one. It's a very common one. Everybody has issues with this. This is the articles.
Articles.
Remember those?
Yeah.
And sometimes nothing at all.
That's the one that I think that's one nobody likes actually.
Yeah. I guess it's different in Japanese. Do you have anything like that?
I don't think so. 日本語って漢詞そもそもないですよね、多分。分けないですもんね、そもそも。I don't think we have 漢詞、articles, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's the biggest problem we can't maybe, use it correctly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's a big one. And it is important. And it's one of those things like if a native speaker hears a missed article, we know instantly, okay, this is not a completely fluent communication.
Can you maybe give me one or two typical example mistakes that we make?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, the big one is just in dropping them or just forgetting to use them.
Oh, forgetting them.
Yeah, I have cat.
I have cat.
Yeah. And of course, you're going to have to put an article in there in front of the cat.
Then I have a cat.
A cat.
But some people say I have cat.
I have cat. Yeah. So that dropping it is a big thing that we got.
Okay. So 単純に落としちゃうね。Just dropping.
Yeah. Now don't forget also that the is for countable nouns only. So
That's right. I think I heard from someone that the word a is coming from the word one.
Yeah.
And the da is coming from the word that. That's true?
Yeah, you can certainly relate it to that. And I sometimes will teach that is sort of
that helps
one
us maybe.
of this type.
よくある間違いっていうのは今のアレックスの言葉を聞くとやっぱし監視なんですよね。これはもう僕ら多分永遠のテーマだと思うし Do you think that there is a day that the Japanese people can master how to use articles in the future?
Well, yeah, I think so. If you stick with it, I will say I have seen it in every level of English learner from, of course, the basic learner, the beginner is going to make that a lot, but I've seen it in very professional, high level.
Okay. At some point of time, I think I gave it up and I'm fine with making small mistakes because it's not a fatal,
It's not a fatal thing, and we can definitely understand what you're saying if you drop it out, but it is a big tell.
Okay. 日本人がねいつかねこの慣習を克服する日が来るのだろうかって話をしてたんですけどアレックスはね人がいいのでいつかあるかもしれないって言ったんですけど僕はないんじゃないかなってね僕ももう諦めてますしね正直言ってただね大体直感的にさっき僕はアレックスと話したところで言うとの語源がね one でthe の語源が that だってことをちょっと知っとくとなんとなく直感的にねどうするかってとこは見えてくるかもしれないです。And there's also issue with omitting article itself,
Sure, that's a big one. The other one is that we got the or an, and then we have the, and the mixing up of which one of those to use.
Yeah, that's right. And not using article itself,
Yeah, just using nothing at all.
For example, like water, or
Oh, yeah,
money, or coffee,
So you're talking about the uncountable.
That's
nouns.
uncountable, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of those don't use any article.
Yeah.
But they will use we call it the definite article. So that is the.
I see. The reason that I asked this question is that, for example, we are told by school teachers that whenever we are talking about coffee, water, don't put a in front of those. But if you go, outside of the country, maybe going to the States and go to Starbucks,
Yeah.
Maybe going to, Starbucks in Los Angeles. And you've had a lot of, native speakers talking about, can I have
coffee.
That's
right.
Or maybe going to a restaurant, maybe you see some people say that, can I have a water?
A water, sure. Yeah. Get me a beer.
Yeah, give me the beer as well. Yeah. So how do you, justify, this one?
Yeah, the story there is that it's kind of shorthand for a unit of a glass of
It's omitting
a can of beer.
今ちょっと僕が聞いた質問は何かっていうといわゆる不可算名詞ですよね。お水 water とかお金のマニーとかとカフェねだったりとかこういったものの前に一応ね学校教育の時にはねこれはだからをつけるなっていうふうに一応教わってはいるんですけど僕もやっぱし海外行った時すぐそれに気づきましたけど結構みんな言うんだよね。I think if you go outside of Japan and go to a restaurant, Starbucks and those places you see lots of native speakers putting in front of coffee or water.
Sure, yeah,
beer.
It does happen.
It does, and that confuses, I think, maybe very serious maybe Japanese English learners.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those points that can really trip you up if you're not used to it.
Then maybe the answer is going to be, article might be a big issue for Japanese people, but at the same time, you shouldn't be too scared to make us, mistake.
Don't be too freaked about making a mistake with that.
That's why it's good,
If if you're the kind of person that is really I gotta be perfect, then you can always put the unit in there. You can say I would like a cup of coffee.
Nice. Okay. ってことでやっぱ一番初めはねこのアーティクルですね。 漢詩いっぱいあるんですよ。22個もあったからね、漢詩なんてみんなね分かってるよって思う人多いんですけど、さっきのねちょっとイレギュラーな話もあったので、ここでちょっと紹介をしてみたっていう感じです。じゃあナンバー1ね、アーティクルは終了で、次に行きましょう。Then let's talk about the number 2. It was actually on number 9 originally.
A lot of cutting.
We are skipping a lot. 本当はね今これ9位に上げてるんですけども、2位からね8位はあったんですけど、あんまりねこれ大きくないものもたくさんあったので、全部スキップしてナンバー9に上がっているものをナンバー2ということで話そうと思います。ナンバー2 is going to be what?
So this is comparatives and superlatives.
Okay.
And these are the type of adjectives we use when we are the first one comparing
something.
And superlatives is
Okay.
when we are judging the number one.
Okay.
Something.
Can I just explain in Japanese?
Sure.
Okay. 今ねアレックスが言ったのは何かっていうと、いわゆる comparatives っていうのは比較級ですよね。比べるとき。であと superlatives って言いましたけど、これはね最上級です。文法の単語を英語で知らなくても全然いいですからね。僕も仕事上この辺を最低限は知ってますけども、多分細かいやつは多分僕も聞いた時分かんないものあると思います。Why did you choose, this comparatives and superlatives, as number 2,
So this one, a lot of people will make a mistake with doubling them up.
Doubling them up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
For example?
the idea is that when you have a regular adjective, like one target,
yeah.
is, he is happy.
He's happy.
He's happy. Now we go to a comparative, that's when we have two things. We judge the top and the bottom, number one and the number two. He is happier than
He's happier, she's.
Yeah. The superlative is when we judge the number one. Everybody in the class, he is the happiest.
Of course.
Yeah. Now that changed happy to happier to the happiest, but you can only change it one time. So another adjective, if we have happy, becomes the happiest. And another adjective might be nervous, the most nervous. But you can't use two changes together. So you cannot say the most happiest. So you can use the happiest. I guess you could use the most happy, but you could not use them together. That's where a lot of people.
So it depends on adjectives you're choosing.
That's correct.
Okay. 要は比較級とかね最上級で僕ら日本人が結構そのね形容詞の種類によってそこのねthe most とか more をつけるのか、つけないで ER だったりとか EST をつけるのかっていうところをよく間違えるっていうことをアレックスは言ってたんですね。Okay. Wow. Do you think that this is going to make any big differences, when it comes to understanding, from native speakers' point of view?
It definitely does sound pretty unnatural. To be honest, this is one of those mistakes that makes it sound a little bit more like kids.
Oh, really? 今の言葉分かりましたかね。そう僕はね別に通じるからいいんじゃないのって言ったら通じるんだけど結構それは間違っちゃった時に子供っぽく聞こえるってことらしいです。So how do you distinguish or define which one to be more the most or just ER, EST?
Well, yeah, like I guess I was saying, if we have two targets, then that's going to be your comparative. And if you have many targets and you're picking the number one out, then that's going to be your superlative.
That's right.
And they both use the same verb change. So you would look at, not verb change, adjective
change.
Yeah, so you have to look at the adjective and you sort of judge, is this a long adjective? These are usually, 2 or 3 or more syllables. We got nervous, we got beautiful, we got complicated.
Got it.
All of those will be more or the most.
Okay. Long adjectives comes with the more, the most likely.
More and
of course, there is maybe some exceptions.
There's an exception to every rule, as they say. All right. The second type might be if your adjective ends with Y. If it ends with Y, what you're going to do is change the Y to an I, and then for comparative, it's IER. So happier.
Happier.
Or for a superlative, it's happiest.
なるほど。
Happier, the happiest.
今ねアレックスが言ってたのはその形容詞の種類でmore とかね the most をつけるやつとそうじゃないやつってところで、とりあえずね一番皆さんが多分分かりやすいのはスペルが長いやつですよね。スペルが長い形容詞。For example, beautiful, convenient.
Sure.
What else? It's hard to come up with sometimes. Complicated.
Yeah, complicated. Comfortable.
Comfortable. That's right. So スペルが長いやつ。大体 I think they're all mostly coming from Latin or maybe Greek.
Yeah.
The words maybe that are imported from the mainland. Of Europe.
most of these will actually have, I call them the set endings.
Set endings.
So if you see an ing, an ed, an ive, ful, ous, any of those are all long type adjectives.
今アレックスが言ったのは基本的にスペルが長くて法則性があるやつってことなんですよね。これ多分ねいわゆる僕らの知ってる単語で言うんだったらいわゆる語感がついてるってやつなんですよね。結局ラテン語とかの単語って全部法則性があるので、そこ見ると大体分かるってこと言ってます。ただとりあえずね言っちゃうと難しいと思うのでスペルが長くて発音がね2音節以上のmore than two syllables I think
Yeah.And so if it's a short one and it's not a Y, then it's just a short type. And those are the easiest.
So short one, for example,
big
adjectives,
Yeah, big.
Short,
tall, hot, cold.
That's
all
right.
of those.
Big, bigger, biggest.
Yeah, they'll take ER, so bigger, and then the EST. The biggest.
Yes. Big, short, shorter, shortest. What else?
What
other adjectives? Dark, darker,
light,
darkest, light, loud, louder, loudest.
Yeah.
That's true. So all of these adjectives are short kind of pronouns.
They're short. Now, we like to say it's one syllable. It's actually not always one syllable. So an example, I said loud. What about quiet?
Quiet.
That is a short type. And that is two syllables, quiet.
Loud, quiet, quieter.
Quieter. That's right.
Quietest.
The quietest.
The quietest. Interesting. Yeah. この辺はね、間違えることありますよね。よくあるのは多分ねもうよく分かんなくなっちゃって the more だったりとか the most を多分つけちゃうケースが、I think 多分多いと思いますね。I think the typical mistakes that we make is maybe putting maybe more and the most, regardless of the type of types of the adjectives.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be
that does happen, and that's actually not always a bad thing. And sometimes you're not really sure which one it should be.
Then
you almost always
go ahead
can
with
use more or most. The big issue though is you don't want to use more or most with or s or
That's right.
here.
Okay. このね比較級最上級を僕ら結構ね間違っちゃうっていうことみたいです。これは僕はあんまり認識してなかったですね。I never realized that this comes with the typical mistakes that native speakers
Oh, sure.
recognize.
It comes up a lot.
Okay. Then maybe let's go to the next one. 日本人のねよく間違えちゃう文法のミス No.3 っていうことでこれ本当は実はね後で思いついて足したやつなんですよね。We just came up with these mistakes later on, right? After we made up a list, で、that's going to be what?
So, an example of one of the ones that we get really confused is called a negative question. Wasn't that a good movie?
いい映画じゃなかったよねっていう質問ですよね。I might say yes, it was a good movie.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's the correct way to do that.
よかった。
And if I say, was that a good movie? The answer is
maybe
the same.
The same, yes. Yes, it was a good movie.
Counterintuitive.
So it's based on the sentence I'm going to make later on, right? But the problem with Japanese people is that sometimes they can't make full sentences,
Oh yeah.
Then the answer might be yes or no. Then maybe based on your question, maybe I might answer like no.
Especially if you look at it written out and it starts with wasn't a good movie.
Wasn't a good movie.
Instinctively you're like, oh.
But no means no, it wasn't a good movie.
No, it wasn't a good movie. Yeah.
Then the movie wasn't good.
Yeah. So I think my tip for people is that when you get one of these negative questions, wasn't it a good movie? Or the tag question, it was a good movie, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah. In both of those, you just ignore the positive, negative stuff. You only really answer the core thing. So a good movie,
your
yes
intention.
or no.
It was good or it was not.
Yeah. Either it was a good movie.
If it was not, then no. If it was, then yes.
That's right.
確かにそれは簡単だね。日本語の感覚だとその映画面白くなかったよねって言ったら、いや面白かったよっていう時っていや面白くなかったよ No ね No って言って言っちゃうんだけども、そこの部分が英語の場合は No だと No って言ってそれはつまんなかった Yes と言ったらそれは面白かったってことになっちゃうんですね。フルセンテンスにすると。だから今アレックスのサジェスション僕らにとっての日本人に対してのは何かっていうと、自分がどういうことをそう思ったかっていう、だから否定疑問文が来ちゃった時は無視しちゃって、そのクエスチョンを自分が何を言いたいかってことに合わせろっていうのが彼のね助言でした。I think I explained it correctly. That's maybe yeah. I'm pretty sure that I made it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, this one, people will make that kind of mistake in how you answer that. That's a pretty common thing. This is one of the situations where the answer is gonna really, if you make a mistake, it's gonna communicate incorrectly.
Especially for beginners who can make a full sentence.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to stick to maybe yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Then the meaning is going to be completely opposite, right?
Yeah.
言ってることは分かって返そうとした時にイエスかノーしか言えない人だとここと違えちゃうと意味が全く逆になっちゃうっていうね、そこ要注意だっていうことです。
I think for people who are a little bit worried about like how to answer that, one kind of trick you can use is just answer it in a regular sentence.
A full sentence, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can do it.
Oh, you don't drink alcohol, do you? And you're like, well, shit, yes, I do.
Yes, I do drink alcohol.
Yeah. But if you're not sure,
no, I don't.
Just say, oh, I like alcohol.
So even if I make a mistake, for example, you don't drink alcohol, then I might say that I don't drink.
I hear
But
that one a lot.
you could still, figure out, based on the sentence I made, later on.
Yeah, the second part of it, then okay.
Then you figure it out. Yeah. Okay.
It is very unnatural, but
Okay, good. Yeah, I got it. そうだから自信がなかったらねセンテンス作ったらセンテンスのところ文章のところで判別するって今アレックス言ってたんですね。ちょっと問題はね初心者の人でイエスノーしか言えなかった時はちょっと注意が必要かもしれないですよね。I think you have other similar cases in here.
Yeah, there's a couple of verbs that are sort of special in English. We only really use them in negative, and they are mind and care. So what does it mean, like to mind? It actually means to not like something or not approve of something.
So like, do you mind when blah blah blah? Or
yeah. So we're like, oh, do you mind if I have a seat here?
I see. I may say yes, but which means that I do mind.
I don't like it. Please don't sit here.
Yeah, that's right.
So yes, those kind of verbs, a little bit tricky. You have to get used to the using of them. But most of the time used only in negative.
ちょっと2つほどね、やっぱし結構僕たちが取り違えちゃいやすいやつがあって、それ何かというと mind 気にするね。あとcare ね。もう動詞で言うと care も気にするって意味なんですね。なので質問するときに何々を気にするって聞いてるからイエスで答えちゃうと何を意味するかっていうとイエスでそのことを気にするってことになっちゃうんですね。だから今アレックスの質問で mind if I sit here ね、そこに座ることを気にするって言って if I say yes which means もし僕が yes って言っちゃうと yes I do mind I mind っていうことは私は気にするってことはI don't like you to sit here.
That's right. Please don't.
そこに座ってほしくないってことになっちゃうね。これ結構あるあるかもしれないですよね。I think I've seen one case. I think at the airport, long time ago, that I think one of the foreigners talking to Japanese that mind if. Yeah, I think maybe it was the same question. Yeah, mind if I sit here. I think guy was a very, I think, he looked pretty nice and he said yes, because we say yes many times, right? And I think it was kind of pretty awkward kind of feeling.
You could definitely give the wrong idea depending on how you answer that kind of.
If we can make a full sentence, maybe we should be, fine.
Yeah, if you can make a good sentence.
You can figure out, what our intentions are, フルセンテンスを作れるようになりましょうってことなんですよね。センテンス作れてればイエスかノーかのとこミスったとしても後半で挽回できちゃうから大丈夫なんだけどイエスはノーになっちゃうともう豪快にそこでね意味が逆転になっちゃってそれで空気が凍っちゃったりとかねする可能性があるってことを話しました。これいつも僕が言ってることです。ゼロから文章を作れちゃえばどうとでもなるのでそのためにね必要な単語っていうのはそんなに難しい単語ないです。突っ込まれてもちゃんとセンテンスで答えられる人であればどれも致命傷にならないものばかりです。細かいミスを気にしてほしくて僕この動画作ったんじゃなくてこういう細かいミスしちゃうけども文章を作れてる人は大丈夫ってことをね気づいてほしくてこの動画を上げています。We just picked up 3 mistakes in today and basically our intention was not to point out those are the mistakes that you guys are making. As long as you can make a full sentence, those 3 mistakes can be neutralized.
You can avoid them. If
you can avoid them.
Speak concisely, speak clearly. That's a good way to get around.
As long as you make a sentence, you figure it out.
I think so. Yeah. And the more you talk, the more you use sentences, you're going to hear those short, natural responses, and I think you'll get used to it. You'll start to get them right.
ってことでね、やっぱし今アレックスも言ってましたけど、文章作れば大丈夫ってことです。